You know, I was very ecstatic and very um, happy when Boris Johnson was reelected as prime minister in a landslide. I was very excited for the British people. I was rooting for Boris, and I'm still rooting for Boris. I want the United Kingdom to be out of the European Union. I think that the United Kingdom should not only be out of the European Union, but out of NATO. I think that the United Kingdom should be the first nation to take a stand and be one of the first nations to be truly independent. To be truly, well, no, probably I would say the second nation, because I would say Switzerland is the only nation to be truly independent. They're not in NATO, they're not in the EU. They are one of the freest nations in the world. They are a direct democracy. They have gun rights. Switzerland is first truly. The United Kingdom should follow the path of Switzerland. But what Boris Johnson is doing right now has me very, very concerned. And it has to do, once again, with a leader who is in the pocket of the rats in Israel. And I'm talking about the Zionist rats, the satanic Zionist rats in Israel. Now, you all know that I don't like Zionists. I hate Zionists. They're a plague on our society. I curse them with cancer. I curse them with AIDS. They should all burn in hell. But what's happening now, and by the way, I'm not speaking of Jews. There are plenty Jews out there who don't support Israel. I'm talking about the Zionists out there. I curse them with cancer. I curse them with cancer. I curse them with sickle cell. I curse them with AIDS. They're a wicked people. They're responsible for a lot of the wickedness in the world. They're responsible for all the wars in the world. They're responsible for a lot of the terrorism in the world. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the former ISIS leader, was a Zionist puppet. He wasn't no Muslim. He was a Zionist plant. He was put in there by Zionist interests to start wars because wars are profitable for Zionists, for Israel, and for the Zionist interests like the Rothschilds and all the people who own the central banks of the world. And what Boris Johnson is doing is a sin. To say now that he is going to actually stop British people from protesting the state of Israel. Can you imagine that? There's no other, and there's plenty of other countries out there that are trying to put in laws like this. And by the way, I want to just wish everybody a Merry Christmas. There's no one on the planet that's ever going to stop me from saying Merry Christmas. I've got all my decorations. I've got more decorations at home. But Merry Christmas. I know that there are a lot of people out there who, want to say Happy Holidays and stuff because, there's Hanukkah and there's all this other stuff. I'm a Christian, okay? So I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. If you celebrate it, if you don't celebrate it, then whatever you celebrate, have a good time. It's just like, it's like there's a lot of powerful interests out there who are trying to get rid of our freedoms out there. People are trying to get us to stop saying Merry Christmas. People are trying to attack Christians. Christianity is one of the religions which is more attacked than any religion out there. And now you've got Boris, who's trying to stop people from protesting Israel. It's an anti-BDS law he's trying to implement. Now, BDS is boycott, divestment, and sanctions. These are individuals who want to boycott the state of Israel, persuade people not to buy anything from the Israeli people, and destroy that economy and send that country to hell where it belongs. And I support them 100%. But even if you don't support them, what gives the Boris the right to say, no, you're not going to protest this country? I thought British people elected him to be Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. I thought he was elected to be head of the Queen's government, not Lord Rothschild's government. He's not the Prime Minister of Israel, that nasty, dirty, stinking country. He's the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Now, why do you think he's doing this? Because the Zionists, again, are one of the most powerful individuals on the planet. This has been going on for years. There's no other country that has this sort of protection. The United States of America would sooner sell out its own people and go after Israel and help them no matter what they do. And they kill innocent children, they kill women, they kill people all the time. And when they try to fight back, everybody's like, holy crap! You know, this is just ridiculous. Now, listen, I am not new to the being enlightened to the evils of Zionists, but there was once a time when I was blind to it. I was like all the other moronic boomer conservatives out there. Israel. But you know something? Intelligence and wisdom and enlightenment is a very good thing. It's a very good thing. When you read about stuff that are happening behind the headlines in the media tells you one thing, but when you read behind the headlines about what's really going on, and about the fact that you've got someone like the ISIS leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, whose real name is Elliot Shimon, who nobody can ever account for him for his whole life, ever since he was a baby in diapers, running around. Nobody could tell who he is, where he came from, where he was born. Nobody knows this, but there are pictures that look exactly like him, sitting around in Mossad headquarters with other Zionist Mossad agents. This guy was a Zionist agent brought in there to create ISIS, to create more war, to fill the pockets of the Rothschilds and the Israeli Zionistic interests. When you hear about 9/11 and about the fact that there are actually documentaries which say that World Trade Center could withstand the impact of a fully fueled aeroplane, and then an aeroplane hits both the buildings, and they both come crashing down, and you understand that the only people who could profit off of a war in Afghanistan is the Israelis, not even the Americans, but the Israelis, and you know about the fact that, and you hear about the fact that Lord Rothschild was in New York City at the time, and he's a big time, and his family funded and created this country. When you hear about the fact that the Zionists and the Israelis were behind most of the wars in the late 20th century and all of the wars in the 21st century that America are involved with, the Gulf War, Afghanistan, Iraq, the war with ISIS, all of these wars, then you gotta know that this is a pretty scary and sketchy nation. Now, why is it that a lot of conservative white folk seem to love the state of Israel? And by the way, I'm an independent, but it's because they have it in their head that Israel is somehow, they listen to the Jerry Falwells and all these pastors out there. These are fake pastors, by the way. These aren't the real pastors. Beware of false prophet, as the first commandment says, where they say that Israel is the Holy Land. Now, when you hear in the Bible that Israel is the Holy Land, we're not talking about the Israel of now. This is a country that was made by fake Jews. Not real Jews, not righteous Jews, fake Jews. Fake Jews. You got a bunch of fake Jews running that country. Bunch of fakey Jews. The real Jew hates Israel. It says so in the Torah. Read the Torah. Man, read the Torah. I think he's so big and bad. And now you got Boris, and you've got many other politicians who are trying to put in laws which stop people from talking about the state of Israel. So what are they trying to hide? What are they trying to hide that they don't want the other people to know? I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to continue to harp on about Zionism and Israel. And whenever I hear about some suspicious activity happening in the world and I see Zionist fingerprints on it, I will be the first one to tell you about it. If you want to hear about what's really happening in the world, you come to the Arana Nation. But it's time that the British folk, no matter who you voted for, left, right, center, Scottish nationalists, you all need to come together. You need to go down to London. You need to go down and to the gates of Downing Street. And you have to tell Boris, brother Boris, hey, brother, don't start going off track now. Don't start going off. Again, I liked him. I would have voted for him. I would have voted for him if I was in the UK. I want to get out of Brexit. I want to stop globalism. But does Boris really know what's going on here? If he's going to stop his whole nation from criticizing an entire country of Israel and simply persuading people not to buy Israel? I mean, what do these college students who protest Israel, what power do they have? They're protesting a wicked and evil country, which has blood on its hands. They're wicked and evil country. They're protesting it. And you can't do it? You can get arrested now? Well, you can come and arrest me. You can kill me. Boris, don't do this to your people. Please, please, please don't do it, Boris. Please, Boris. Please, please, Boris. I want to love you, Boris. I want to love you, Boris. But don't do this, Boris. Please don't do it. Please, let's have one leader who is, nobody's perfect. You'll never get perfect. But just one leader. One. Who's not going to be a sellout to the Zionists. Just one. Come on, man. One that's not only not a globalist, but not a Zionist as well. Come on, Boris. Boris, these Zionists don't like you. They'll kill you if you go off path. Boris, these Zionists don't like you. They'll kill you. They'll try to get you out of office if you stray away from the line of going to war with Syria, going to war with Libya, going to endless wars. They'll destroy you if you don't go. Look, honestly, I think the Zionists are behind the Trump impeachment. You might think that sounds strange, but I think they are. There are a lot of Democrats right now. Look at Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer gets billions of dollars from the Zionists. Nancy Pelosi gets billions of dollars from the Zionists. You can look it up. And these are people. I'm not saying that all the people who are anti-Trump are pro-Zionist, because a lot of them, as much as bad as they are, you got a lot of them are on the right side of the Zionist argument. But a lot of them get money from, and I think they're doing it because Trump is saying he's not going to go to war with Iran, and he's not going to go to war with Syria. That's why I think the Zionists are going after him. That's why I think they're behind the Trump impeachment. They want Mike Pence, that neocon, who will gladly go to war in Iran, and who would gladly bomb Syria 10 more times, and falsely accuse them of gassing their own people, when even the UN watchdogs are saying that didn't happen now. And he still gets his country bombed. What the hell? And he would want, that's what they want. I think it's happening. I don't know for certain. I don't know for certain. If I knew for certain, I would say it's for certain. I know for certain that the ISIS leader was a Zionist agent. I know for certain 9/11 was triggered by the Zionists, not by a few people in some cave. I wouldn't be surprised if Osama was a Zionist agent or a CIA agent. I wouldn't be surprised. So y'all need to stop Boris from protecting this wicked country. Don't let our boy get sullied down the path of wickedness. Don't do it. Please don't do it. And a lot of people are going to hate what I have to say. And all I can say is, you need to read the Torah. You need to read the Bible. You need to read up on your stuff. You can't say that Israel is a Jewish country. It's a fake Jewish country. The real Orthodox Jews say that we Jews shall not have a homeland until thy Messiah comes back. Now, where's the Messiah? I don't see no Messiah anywhere for the Jews. So that means there should be no Israel. And this one fake fraud country, this evil country, gets all this protection. I think all British folk of intelligence and of patriotism should all rise up and criticize the hell out of that country, and they can't arrest all of you. This is the Iranian nation. Viva the populist revolution, and viva the nationalist revolution. Peace be with you, and boom shakalaka goes right there. And Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.